The Godskins are an interesting enemy, with there being the noble and the apostle. However, what if we took this one step further and created our own third type? After going through the definitions of apostles and nobles, I came to a conclusion that I will call this Godskin the Godskin Saintess, and with it being a very simple definition, a female saint. Honestly, the name just sounded very badass, and I just went with it. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be creating the third Godskin. And for the sakes of this story, we will be going with the theory that Millena is the Gloomite Queen. As for the rules of this challenge, I cannot kill a demigod until I get my main weapon and armor. And I cannot enter Round Table Hold until I slay demigod. My third and final rule, I cannot do Vari's questline until I kill 2 demigods. Anyways, with all out of the way, let's just hop inside the challenge. Also, before we get inside this video, I want to let you all know that it is indeed my birthday, at least on the day of this posting. So, if you would like to be so kind, leave down a comment saying happy birthday and consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video. Anyways, on to the actual video. We'll start off by choosing the Confessor class. After we get done creating our character, we'll jump off a cliff and land right into Florida. We'll help Alexander and make him our bestie. Kill Greyoll, make a guy fall off a cliff, go around Stormvale, get some spike stones, get pushed off an edge while we are backstabbing someone, get some more spike stones, and upgrade our weapon. We then hop back into the mines, get our mace upgraded as much as we can, go defeat a miniature boss, go to Radon's tower, get the Summerstone 8 and 9 from there, climb up the tower, go back down the tower, and farm the Fire Monk for an hour and 30 minutes, just to get his chest piece. You can imagine that some parts of this clothing could be skin and other things. Honestly, I think he just looks very cool and would make for a different alternative if you put a lot of imagination behind it. Anyways, we defeat the Godskin Apostle and gain him as an ally. It is there we grab our weapon. Unfortunately, we do not have the stats to use the weapon quite yet. On the flip side, we just finished the Apostle, so we have enough runes to level up our Fate stat and use Radagon's Sword Seal to increase the strength and dex to make it where we could barely just use the weapon. After upgrading our weapon even further, we go take on Margit, which we will wipe away with the Black Flame. We'll then go ahead and talk to Gostock, have him open the gate, run through Stormvale, and give Godric the same treatment as Margit. After getting the God's Slayer seal in the prayer book, we give it to the Turtle Pope, and we learn from him. After that, we'll infiltrate Royal Ricaria, and get ambushed by the Red Wolf of Radagon. As I dealt with the Red Wolf, the Apostle went and tried to deal with Renella. However, he was sent back, flying out the window like Wesker was in RE5. After defeating the Red Wolf of Radagon, we continue the fight with Renella. And once we defeat her, we can finally do Vari's questline and jump off a cliff to gain some levels. While me and the Apostle are celebrating the death of 2 demigods and making some nice new armor from the skin, we get approached by Millena, who has informed us about the noble's location, currently being held by her ex, Ronnie. For us to save the noble from Ronnie, we need to get the finger-slaying blade for her. However, the finger-slaying blade is in Nokron, and with no physical way to access it, we are unsure what necessarily to do. However, Millena has assured us that defeating Radon would set the stars back in motion and open a way to Nokron. Though I was allowed to enter and join the festival, the apostle was stopped at the door.
Let me in! Let me in!
Though the apostle can't get through the gate, we have our good friend Alexander here.
Ah, you came. How delightful. Indeed, I thought I might find you here. By the by, do you know for whom this festival is being held? Well, it is none other than General Radahn himself. To think, I could face a great champion of the Shattering, a demigod in the flesh. Oh, in truth, I quiver at the thought. Such is his frightful repute. But the fear simply assures me the ordeal is worth undertaking. Be sure to get a good vantage, my friend. I, Iron Fist Alexander, do hereby vow to unflinchingly brave this ordeal.
With a great speech given by Alexander, we both rush in to fight Radahn. Unfortunately, just as we were about to kill Radahn, he launches into the sky like a meteor and comes down crushing on Alexander, taking him out of the fight. As we defeat Radahn, the stars fall. One big star in particular landing in Limgrave. As we tend to Alexander's wounds, the apostle will go down the hole the star made, leading to Nokron, and will acquire the finger-slaying blade to trade Ranni. After giving Ranni the finger-slaying blade, and getting the location of the GodSkin noble, we go ahead and head over there. We open the door, and there he is. However, because he's been locked up in his room for such a long time, he doesn't fully recognize us. After helping him remember, we gain him as an ally. With the noble at our side, we go ahead and hop right into Leyndell, only to get approached by Millena, as she says she's gonna go find her purpose, and dips out. After that, the GodSkin noble and apostle will take on Godfrey, the Golden Shade Edition, and defeat him quite easily. We then gang up on Morgott.
Not but a fool. The Erd Tree wards off all who deign approach. We are all forsaken.
Now that Morgott is defeated, we head up to the tree, only to find impenetrable thorns. I try to burn it down with my boy flame. Unfortunately, it did nothing. As we head back downstairs, we see Millena, who has revealed to us her purpose, and who wants to take a journey with us to the Flame of Ruin in the mountaintops of the Giants. There, she will burn the Erd Tree, giving us a chance to kill God. She then hands us the royal medallion, and we head over to the Forbidden Lands. Before we take on the fire giant, it's time to dispose of all the other demigods. I will take the lift to the concentrated snowfields to go fight Millena, while the GodSkin noble and apostle will make their ways to Rykard and Mohg. The fight with Millena went as well as a fight with Millena would go normally. Except this time, unlike the other times I usually do Millena's fight, because of my equipment, I'm actually mid-rolling. Usually, I prefer to keep my equipment light, so it's easier to dodge her attacks. However, with the armor and everything like that, my hand was forced into this mid-roll. She did end up getting me a few times because of this. But besides that, and readjusting my stats to have more health, we defeat her without relatively too much issues. With my victory over Millena, the GodSkin noble and apostle were absolutely embarrassing Mohg, completely destroying his health during his phase transition, and quickly killing him afterwards. As I was making my way to the GodSkin noble and apostle, we come across Alexander, who was bathing inside some nice lava.
Ah, good lady. What business business might you have in such a place as this? I hardly think you're here to temper yourself with flame, considering that fleshly form of yours. Your timing, though, is impeccable as ever. I've been making just the thing for you on my journey here. Take it. I'm sure it'll suit you to a T. But, it's hardly more than lukewarm here. Perhaps I'll head eastward. There's an old saying I've caught wind of. Above the lofty clouds, the icy giant's peak doth soar. Here lieth the flame of ruin, which ever burning roars.
As I was catching up with Alexander, the GodSkin noble and apostle were taking care of Rykard. With the death of all the other demigods, we finally take on the fire giant, only to see Alexander's summon sign. I don't resist and I call upon him for this fight. With all four of us, we take down the fire giant pretty easily. With the flame of ruin next to us, Millena asks if we are ready. We accept. She takes our hand and we fall asleep. While we are asleep, Millena sacrifices herself to burn the Earth Tree. We wake up alone in Kremlin Missoula, unaware of where the noble and the apostle has gone. But it will not stop us. We march forward, only to find Alexander.
I see you finally made it here yourself. The city hanging in the air is slowly crumbling. What an incredible place we find ourselves. But that aside, you're certainly a force to be reckoned with, eh? I doubt there's a single soul who could have handled that giant other than you. It was practically a god. Of course, I count myself, the great Alexander, among many. Which means I've but one thing to ask of you. Would you kindly undertake my ordeal? Come and tell me when you're ready. I've been longing to fight a warrior as accomplished as you.
We accept Alexander's request and challenge him to a fight, ending in his swift demise.
As I suspected, victory was impossible. This vessel was found lacking. My thanks. I knew you were the stuff of champions. It was a marvelous battle. I implore you, take what I bequeath from inside me. All vessels are destined to one day break. But the great Alexander lived as a warrior to his last.
We then take the moment to pay our respects to Alexander. Unknowing to us, the GodSkin noble and apostle were in a fight for their lives. One, they would not win. We run into the beast clergyman, who upon seeing us would stab himself, revealing himself to be Malakath, the Black Blade, Queen Marika's own shadow, and the one who sealed away destined death and defeated our mother. Even though I do not have the GodSkin noble and apostle with me, we take him on. A battle of true endurance. One that we will prevail, even though he killed me several times. For some odd reason, this fight was much more harder than previous times I've tried to do it. But it's all good. In the end, we do defeat him and restore destined death upon the entire world. Gideon, more like Giddy Dead with Black Flame. I'm sorry, that was a terrible joke. We then run into Godfrey. Though not necessarily a god himself, he is the ex-husband of Queen Marika, the god that we truly want to slay. And unfortunately, he's puppy yarding her, wanting to be taken back. However, we have to deal with him to get to Marika. About halfway into the fight, he tears out the beast's Starash on his back, and becomes Horaloo Warrior. He tries to come at us with fist only, thinking this is WWE. However, we put him in his place with our Black Flame. We finally reach Queen America, the god of these lands. However, she's not too happy with seeing us, so she summons Radagon to fight us. On the other hand, Radagon is very weak to fire, let alone fire covered in black flame. We defeat him pretty easily, only to have the true god reveal himself, the Elden Beast, by grabbing Radagon's corpse and turning him into a sword. The battle continues. The fight with Elden Beast went pretty smoothly, doing some great fireballs and defeating it with destined death. How fitting. Millena, Alexander, the GodSkin noble, and apostle unfortunately cannot see this day. However, their sacrifices were not in vain, as we now sit on the throne and will unleash the age of destined death. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy this video, please help it out by leaving a like, comment, and subscribe. And do comment down below what was your favorite part of the video. As for the build, I'll be showing that up on screen as I'm doing this little outro. What was interesting about this video is trying to do 3 characters in one. Luckily, the GodSkin's weapons all had a good stat in dexterity, so I manually leveled up that stat to try to increase the damage throughout the entire board. Anyways, without further ado, that's going to be doing it for me. Let me know if you're excited for Elden Ring's DLC, and I'll catch you up on the next video. Goodbye, everyone.